Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with a quick review of the GTX300 portable power station from our friends at Gooloo. This product provides 300 watts of external charging and operating capabilities in a product that weighs about 8.8 pounds, which means it's portable enough to take with you everywhere to provide all the power you'll need to charge and operate all of your thirsty portable devices. Now, I'd like to start off with an unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and that way you'll understand exactly what you get if you buy the product. And then I'll point out the features that really separate this particular portable power station from a lot of other products on the market, because Gooloo's a company that manufactures a lot of portable power solutions, and the GTX 300 I think is almost the perfect combination of power and portability to take with you pretty much anywhere and give you all the energy you need out in the field to charge your portable devices, your drones, to operate lights and other things that you may want to plug in. And it's a really nice little unit to take with you for a long weekend of camping or that really long road trip where you have a lot of people in the back of the car that all want to charge their devices at the same time. It fits that bill perfectly. And then I'll actually take a closer look at the unit. I'll show you the ports and connectors, and I'll talk about the display a little bit so you understand exactly how to use it. And then finally, I'll come back and point out a few features that really separate this particular product, again, from a lot of other portable power stations on the market. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you open up the box, you'll find the GTX 300, again, 8.8 pounds, 300 watts. It also can surge up to 600 watts, and I'll explain that in a minute. You have a couple of different ways you can charge the unit. It comes with an AC kit you can use at home. You'll basically plug this into the wall, plug this into the unit. It'll take about 2.5 hours, depending on the charge level when you start that charging cycle, to fully charge the unit. It also includes a car kit that you can use to charge it from your car or your RV. You'll plug this into your convenience port in the car. You'll plug this into the back of the unit and charge it off the DC in your car. That will take a little bit longer because it charges at a lower rate just so you don't run your battery down. You also have the option of charging it through the USB-C port on the front, and you can actually use this in conjunction with the AC and charge it through both of those ports at the same time to speed up that charging if you like. I love the fact that I've got an AC kit, a DC kit, and a USB-C kit, which means I can charge it a lot of different ways to get it ready to take with me out in the field. Also included is a full instruction manual that lists all the details you'll need to understand about the product to use it correctly. It's always a good idea to read through this manual because there's a lot of details in here that you'll need to understand about the product to get the best value out of the unit. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the portable power station itself. Now, the challenge with most portable power stations on the market are really three things. You've got to charge it. And then once you charge it, how do you hang on to that energy? What kind of battery chemistry is inside the unit? And then finally, once you have the unit charged and you're out there on your camping trip, how can you deliver that charge to external devices? In other words, what kind of ports do you have? How many ports do you have? Are they smart ports? So let's start with the charging aspects of it. Most of the portable power stations on the market provide at least an AC input and a DC input so you can charge it at home from a wall outlet or charge it in your car or on the road. This unit also includes the AC and the car outlet. This one also has the added benefit of allowing you to charge it through the USB-C port as well. That's not something you find on a lot of portable power stations, and honestly, it's not something you're going to use an awful lot, but if you forgot your power supply and you're out in the field and you need to charge it, you can use a standard USB wall charger and charge it through that USB-C port on the front. The other benefit is if you're charging it at home through an AC outlet, you can also plug in a USB charger and add a little extra current through the USB-C port to charge it through both of those options at the same time, which will greatly increase the speed of how quickly this thing gets charged. I love the fact that they've included the DC cord as well, because a lot of these portable power stations don't actually include this, and then you've got to go hunting for a cord you can use in your car, and you're never quite sure if you've got the right cord. Another key feature of the unit is that it's intelligent in the way that it charges. There's a battery management system inside the unit that governs how the energy coming into the unit is actually distributed across those batteries. And that's really important because the battery chemistry inside is really fairly temperamental, and you can't just fire a lot of electrons at it. You've got to have some kind of battery management system that gently takes that energy and applies that to the batteries inside the unit so you can get the longest life out of those batteries. So whether you're charging it from AC, charging it from your car, charging it through a USB-C connection, or charging it off a solar panel, which is the fourth way you can charge it, inside there, the battery management system takes responsibility for taking that input current and distributing it equally across those batteries. It's also checking the health of the batteries, making sure the cells are balanced as far as the charge goes. Another key feature that the battery management system includes on this unit is a thing called an MPPT circuit. Now, if you're charging from a solar panel, the challenge with solar panels is that you'll set it up in the field, you point it at the sun. The sun's brightness is going to change an awful lot during the day. If there are clouds going by, it's going to get darker, it's going to get lighter. Maybe you've got it facing the sun at one point, a couple hours later, the sun's over here, you're not getting as much sunlight. So as a result of that, the voltage and current from that solar panel that's being delivered to the portable power station can change an awful lot. Well, the MPPT circuit inside the GTX300 actually looks at that current coming in, and it contours that current to flatter the batteries, so it's squeezing every bit of energy out of that solar power that you're generating to charge those batteries efficiently and, more importantly, safely. So the MPPT circuit is built in there as well. All right, so you've got a lot of ways to charge the unit. What are you actually charging? What kind of battery chemistry is inside the unit? Well, this unit uses lithium polymer batteries, which are LiPo batteries. That technology has been around a long time. It's used on most of the EV vehicles that are out there. It's a pretty stable technology, and what I mean by that is it'll hold the charge quite a long time. It's also really good for charging and discharging, so the unit can be charged and discharged well over 1,000 times, and that's a full charge and discharge. So you're going to get years and years of use out of it, because you're never going to charge it 100% and drain it 100%. You'll probably charge it to 100%, maybe drain 40 or 50% out of it, and then charge it again. Well, that only counts for half of a charge cycle. So if you're not using it all the way down to zero, you're going to get a lot of years out of the unit. The LiPo technology is also really good from an energy density perspective. And what that means is you can pack a lot of energy into a lighter package than a lot of other battery chemistries. So what Gooloo did was pick the exact right technology to allow you to charge it a lot of times and hang on to that charge for a period of time and still keep it lightweight where you can take it out there in the field. All right, so once you've got the charge on the unit, how do you distribute that charge to external devices? And that's a big challenge because a lot of the portable power stations on the market only have a limited number of connections. Now, typically you'll want an AC output, a DC output, just like in your car, a 12-volt output, and a USB output. And those are three different styles of charging capabilities outside of the portable power station. This unit has all three of those available. So let's start with the AC portion. You'll notice there are two full-sized AC ports right over here, just like you have at home. You can plug two different devices in at the same time. Those ports will deliver 300 watts of external power for running anything you would normally run at home. The best part is the circuit inside here that generates that AC from the DC on the batteries has a surge protection built in that can actually deliver up to 600 watts when needed. And that's really important if you're running things like a drill or a blender or something that draws a little bit more energy when you first plug it in. This unit can handle that extra surge and not have to worry about popping a breaker on the unit. A lot of other portable power stations that can deliver 300 watts of external power will pop a breaker if you go to 301 watts. So if you plug a drill in and you draw a little extra current on those other portable power stations, they're not going to be able to handle it. So knowing I've got that surge protection between 300 and 600 built into this means I can take it out in the field if I have to drill through something, or if I'm running a blender at a campsite, or maybe I'm plugging in a cooler that's got a compressor inside of it. All of those devices draw a little more current when you first turn them on, and this unit can handle it. The next thing is DC. You've got a full-size DC outlet right here, just like in your car. So any charger you plug into your car or any appliance you plug into your car, you can plug in right there. And that's a 12-volt, 10-amp outlet. So whatever you plug into your car will work just fine on the unit. You've also got two 5521 connections right here. Now, 5521 is a pretty standard port that you can find cables that'll convert that to a lot of different appliances. So if you've got a DVD player, a laptop, you pretty much can find a 5521 to whatever connection you need to charge an external device. Another great thing is you can find a 5521 to another car outlet like this. So essentially, if you plug this into one of those ports, you can actually plug it in there, and then it won't fit. There we go. I had to find the port. Anyway, you plug it in there, and all of a sudden you've got another DC port, just like in your car. So you could essentially have a DC port here and two more DC ports down the bottom and use three of them at the same time. Now again, 10 amps here, 5 amps on each of these. So that's a lot of charging through the 12-volt outlet. And again, these are available all over as accessories. All right, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about was the USB connections. Now, there are typically two types of USB connections you'll use to charge your phone, your tablet, your portable game systems, anything that charges off a USB charger. The older style are the larger ports, and they're called USB-A ports. And USB-A ports have been around for an awful long time, and a typical USB-A port will deliver 5 volts at up to 2.5 amps. you've got two full-sized USB-A ports right there. And these two ports will deliver that 5 volts at 2.5 amps. The big difference is one of those USB-A ports is also a QC or a quick charge port, and that technology is an intelligent port technology that if you have a device that'll charge with a QC standard like a phone or a tablet, the minute you plug it into the GTX 300, it recognizes the fact that you plugged in a QC device, and it'll automatically adjust the voltage and current above the 5 volts and even above the 3 amps to quickly and safely charge that device. So it's smart enough to make that adjustment on the fly for whatever device you plug in and change those parameters to charge that device quickly and safely. That's a really big advantage. A lot of other portable power stations just have basic USB-A ports on them that will charge 5 volts at 2.5 amps. In addition to that, there are two USB-C ports. That's the other standard that's available nowadays for USB charging. That's the very latest in connection technology. So if your newer phones, your newer tablets, your game consoles, your drone batteries, all use a USB-C connection. And you've got two USB-C connections on there as well that you can use to externally charge those devices. One of them is actually a PD device, which is another intelligent charging technology called power delivery. And if you plug something in like a phone or a tablet or drone batteries that recognize a power delivery port, the unit again will adjust the voltage and current high as needed to quickly and safely charge that device. So you've got an intelligent QC port on the USB-A and an intelligent PD port on the USB-C. So pretty much every connection you'll need to use the stored energy inside the product to charge and operate external devices is available on this particular unit. So they've really covered their bases there. Now, everything included in the product allows you to charge it quickly, take it out in the field and enjoy that extra power when you're out there on your camping trip or your long road trip, and then be able to charge all of your external devices off of this unit. If you stay tuned next, what I'll do is take a closer look. We'll take a good look at the ports, and I'll explain again the different voltages and currents that are available from those ports. And then I'll come back at the end and point out a few things that I really like about this GTX 300 compared to a lot of other portable power stations on the market, because there's a lot of different options out there, and it's really important to understand the features and functions that matter when you're comparing this particular product against others you may be considering. On the front of the GTX 300, you'll find two full-sized AC ports, just like the ones in your home. There are two prongs on the top and plenty of space in the bottom for the grounding pin, so you can plug in a 2-prong or a 3-prong cord to either one of these and operate your appliances. Both of these provide 300 watts of output power that can actually surge to 600 watts when needed. So if you plug in something with a motor, like a hand drill or a blender, these can accommodate that extra surge. As far as DC power goes, on this side you'll find a single DC port right here, just like the one in your car. This will supply 12 volts at 10 amps, so anything you plug into your car, you can plug in right here and charge and operate from that particular port. Also, you'll find two 5521 ports, and these are specialized ports that can be converted to charging cables for things like laptops and game consoles or DVD players, or even another convenience port, simply by plugging in the cable to these two ports, and these each will deliver 12 volts at 5 amps, so a lot of DC power between these three ports. Above these two ports are two full-sized USB-A ports. The one on the left is a standard USB-A, and that'll deliver 5 volts at 2.4 amps, which is the highest amount of current a typical USB-A port can deliver. The one on the left can deliver the same amount of power, but is also a QC or quick charge port, which is an intelligent port. So if you plug something in there that's QC compatible, this will actually negotiate with that device and change the voltage and current to quickly and safely charge that device. Above that are two more USB-C ports, and these are the latest connection standards out there. The one on the left delivers 5 volts at 3 amps. Again, the highest amount of power you'll find in a USB-C port. Anything you plug into a USB-C charger at home, you can plug directly in there and charge it just fine. The one on the left is a specialized port. The first thing it does is it's actually PD compatible, which is a power delivery technology, another intelligent port that will actually quick charge power delivery capable devices. So if you have a newer phone or a game console or drone batteries, the minute you plug that cable in here and plug it into that device, the port will interrogate that device, figure out the charge level it's currently at, and adjust the voltage and current to quickly and safely charge it. So you can really speed up the charging with these two ports. The other thing this port does is it acts as a bi-directional port. And what that means is you can actually use it to charge devices externally, or you can use it to charge the actual power station through that port. So you can plug it into a USB wall charger and actually charge the internal batteries on the unit through that port, in addition to the AC and the DC options. Above that, you'll find three switches. The middle one turns the display on. You also have the ability to turn on the DC portion of it by itself, and you'll see the indicator come up, or the AC portion by itself. And that's really handy because you're not wasting power. If you're not using the AC, you can turn that off. And then you can see from the display how much energy is still in the battery, as well as what the percentage is. You can see the output wattage being used and the input wattage being used when you're charging the unit. It also gives you an indication of how much more time you'll need to charge the unit and how much more time you have left on the internal capacity of the batteries with everything you have plugged in on the front. On the rear of the unit, you'll find a light across the back, and that's really nice to have when you're out camping. To turn that on, you can tap this button, and there are 3 settings. There's one setting there, that's low, that's high, and the third tap will bring you into an SOS mode, which is really handy. If you happen to break down near the side of the road, you can put this down near the road, turn it on, and let oncoming cars know that you're over there. You'll also find 2 input ports. The top port is for the AC kit, you'll plug it in right there. The bottom port is for the DC kit that you use in your car, or if you're plugging in a solar panel, and the cable for this and this are included with the kit. On the sides of the unit, you'll find ventilation grids cut into the actual design of the cabinet. Behind these grids are fans that will pull air through the unit across the electronics to keep everything at a very comfortable temperature during operation. So if you're drawing a lot of current out of it or you're charging the unit, the fan may turn on to keep those electronics cool. I hope that closer look was helpful. Now here are a few really important things to keep in mind when you're comparing the Gooloo GTX300 portable power station with other products you may be considering. The first thing, and probably most important thing, is the power to weight ratio that any portable power station provides. The GTX300 will give you 300 watts of external charging and operating capabilities, and it weighs 8.8 pounds. Now, there are a lot of other portable power stations on the market that can provide 300 watts of output power, but they may weigh 10 pounds, 12 pounds, or even 15 pounds. And when you compare the two, you've got the same amount of power, but that unit may weigh twice as much as this particular unit, which I promise you means you're going to leave at home an awful lot, because when you're heading out for the camping trip, you're looking at the portable power station thinking, I don't want to really carry that big heavy thing out in the field. With this one, at 8.8 pounds, it's light enough to take with you pretty much anywhere, and you'll almost forget you have it with you. So in a lot of ways, it's the perfect power and portability combination. Another consideration is the amount of power that the product can provide, because typically a portable power station will have a maximum rating of say 300 watts. And if you exceed that, you'll pop a circuit breaker. One of the advantages of the GTX300 is that it has surge protection built in, which means it can supply 300 watts of steady state power, but if you need to surge higher, it can actually accommodate a surge up to 600 watts, so you can plug things into it like a drill or a blender or a fan or something with a motor that draws a little bit more current when you first turn it on. You're not going to have to worry about popping a circuit breaker, so you've got surge protection built in. Another key consideration is the battery technology. Internally, they're lithium polymer batteries, which give you a really good energy density along charge retention, and also gives you a lot of charge and recharge cycles. So again, well over 1,000 full charge and recharge cycles on the unit, which will last you years. So you're going to have the product for quite a long time. Another key difference between a lot of the portable power stations on the market is the internal battery management system, and that's what controls the inrush current to charge the batteries and the distribution of that charge externally to devices you'll connect up to it. This has a very sophisticated battery management system, which also includes an MPPT circuit. So if you connect up a solar panel to the unit, it will groom the actual energy that comes from that solar panel to flatter the batteries with that charge and squeeze every bit of energy out of the power that's being generated by those solar panels. There are also 12 different protections built in to the battery management system to protect the batteries, to protect the unit when it's charging, and to protect your external devices so you won't damage anything when you plug it into the unit. Another key consideration between portable power stations is the type of outputs a product provides. Now, normally you'll find AC output, DC 12-volt output, and USB output. All of the portable power stations on the market pretty much have those 3 different styles of output, but it's a little bit more nuanced than that because you have to be careful about what kind of current they can deliver, and more importantly, are they regulated? Are they not regulated? Are they intelligent? So with the GTX300, on the AC circuit, you have 2 full-size AC output ports that can provide, again, 300 watts that'll surge up to 600 watts. Another difference is the AC output here is a pure sine wave. A lot of other portable power stations on the market use a modified sine wave, which works okay if you're using DC devices like a laptop charger, but if you're plugging in sensitive electronics, that can cause some issues for you. So knowing you've got 300 watts that'll surge to 600 watts with a pure sine wave output means you've got clean power and you've got plenty of power output. The DC circuit on here is a 12 volt output at 10 amps. That's plenty of power out of a DC outlet. Just like in your car, anything you plug into your car, you can plug into that outlet and you can operate it just like you would in your car. You'll also find two 5521 ports on there as well, which deliver 12 volts at 5 amps. And again, I mentioned before, there are all kinds of connection cables like this one that can convert those 5521s into another DC outlet or a charging cable for your laptop or DVD player or a game console. As far as USB output goes, every type of connection and every type of intelligent connection you need is available on this unit. So you have two full-sized USB-A ports. Both of those can deliver 5 volts at 2.4 amps. One of them is also a quick charge port, which again can recognize a quick charge product plugged in and adjust the voltage and current to quickly and safely charge that product. You also have two full-sized USB-C ports, which are the latest standard for connecting to portable devices and mobile devices. One of those is a PD port, which again is an intelligent port, and if you plug a PD device in like a game console or drone batteries or a phone, it'll adjust the voltage and current to charge that device safely and quickly. So every type of connection you'll need is built into the unit. And pretty much everything you need is in the box to get started. You can charge it quickly, take it out on your first camping trip in a couple of hours, and use the power that's inside the unit to charge and operate all of your thirsty portable devices when you're away from home. So hopefully you found this review helpful. I think it's a great unit. I test a lot of different units, and I like the fact that this is small, it's portable, it's powerful, and has all the connections I could possibly need for charging and using all of my equipment out there in the field. So thanks an awful lot for watching, and until next time, as always, stay nerdy.